everyone, my name is Rhiannon from Blue Dog Board Games, and today we're going to be carrying on the Uwe Rosenberg series where I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough, and this time we are going to be playing through A Feast for Odin, the base game box, and seeing how we get on. This game is quite different to his other titles. Has still got elements of, say, some farming, but it's not really sort of farming focused. It's much more focused on like exploring and trading of goods and upgrading the value of your goods, and you are placing tiles out, polyomino tiles out, and trying to sort of increase your income and further expand your territories as a Viking colony. As I said, today we are just going to be playing the base game box. I do also own the Norwegian's expansion for A Feast for Odin, and so I will be releasing another playthrough at a later date where I also play A Feast for Odin with that expansion and seeing how that changes the game and what my thoughts are on those changes. But today, as I said, we're just going to be playing the base game. We're all set up, ready to go, so let's get going. So A Feast for Odin is an absolutely massive game. Unfortunately, I cannot fit everything that you would want to see and what's on the table in the camera shot. So what I've tried to do is push everything that we will interact with, but it's more of like a market supply off the screen. When I interact with them or mention those bits, I have got some pictures that I can pop up so you can sort of see what I'm talking about, but we won't need to see them for the vast majority of the gameplay. We will only be we'll be interested in our player board over here, and especially this part here, which is where we're going to be laying down our good tiles, our polyomino tiles, trying to increase our income. And this, the main player board. So there are so many options on here, and they're sort of all segregated into columns and rows. They're very helpfully sort of split into themes. So you've got your like sailing bits down here and your hunting bits up here, and you've got worker spaces that need 1 Viking here, 2, 3, and 4. So once you're familiar with the board, it becomes so much easier and smoother. But there is so much going on. And we've got some exploration boards over there and all of our good tiles. But just physically can't fit it all on, so what can you do? Anyway, so we start the game with our 5 initial workers on our like gathering space. These black workers are for the next round. And we start with some weapons. So we've got a spear for whaling, we've got a bow for hunting game, and a snare for other animals. And we've got an initial occupation card. We also start with a mead. So that's there. And then we can start going through our turn order. So this game actually very helpfully has, there's 12 stages in a turn basically, and it tells you exactly what goes on in each stage, so you can just move your counter down here so you know exactly where you're going. And so in a solo game you get a new Viking, or usually you get 2 Vikings, but in a solo game you just get the 1. So we now have 6 to work with in the first round. Harvest phase. In this part of the game, you are looking on this section of the board and seeing what, if any, vegetables and vegetation you are harvesting that round. So we are harvesting everything with value 1. It goes up to 4 in this game, so you can have values 1, 2, 3, and 4 of all of your like food goods. But we are just harvesting things of value 1 today, right at the moment. There we go, so we've got some peas, beans, and is it like flax? And then we are proceeding down to this one, which is turn exploration boards and place silver. But there is nothing going on. So you've got 2 little rows here, which show you what you can do, sort of cross-reference them. The blue row is this turn exploration boards bit, and this has just got a dash. So we're not doing anything this round. This activates on round 3 onwards. I should say as well that there's 2 versions of the game. You can play the shortened version, which has 6 rounds. I'm playing the long version today, which is 7 rounds. Just because I feel like by round 6 I'm still ranking, pushing up, so I want even more time to like build my Vikings up. So we go straight into number 4. So this is draw a new weapon card. So I've got another bow and arrow. And then finally we are down to the actions. So this is where everything starts to happen. And we can now use our 6 Viking meeples anywhere we want on this board. So I found this game to be very, not swingy, but you need to work on a particular strategy. And if you're not familiar with a particular strategy or route to go down, you can really suffer for it. So, for example, a couple of days ago, I played this and I had my best ever score, like in the 120s. And I was really like pushing something I was quite familiar with. But then yesterday night, I tried to play this game again and I got, I think, probably my worst ever score. It was, I won't even tell you what it was that bad. And that was because I was pushing a different strategy that I hadn't gone down before, and I was really struggling with trying to balance that with get enough goods to feed my Vikings instead of feeding your farmers. In this game, we're feeding our Vikings. And so, yeah, it's a tricky one to sort of, because there's so many different routes, I feel like that it's quite a difficult one to sort of play well at. But let's see how we get on today. I never know how to start, if I'm totally honest. I think we may go here straight away. This allows me to trade a flax, one Viking worker, because we're in the first column, trade a flax for a piece of linen. So I'm going to be doing a lot of moving over here today. So this is interesting because this board here, we want to, you see all the -1s at the end of the game, all up here and all over here. So if we don't cover those at the end of the game, we're going to get -1 point for each space. We can only put certain coloured goods on this board. So we can accept blue goods, we can accept green goods, we can accept ore or money, and that is it. So we cannot place any orange or red goods anywhere here. And the goods in this game are all double-sided, so they have like an upgradable scale. So it goes from the least valuable, which are your orange goods, these ones here. If you flip them, you actually get your upgraded version, which is your red. And then you can upgrade your reds to green, and then you can flip your green, upgrade to blue. And blue are your most valuable because you can place blue next to each other, adjacent, however you want on tiles like this on our player boards. But and if you have green ones, you cannot put them adjacent to each other. So you have to break up your green tiles with other tiles. So I'd stick a blue in the middle or stick ore or money in the middle. So blues are really, really valuable, but they're quite hard to get. So I'll think about what I want to do with my blue in a minute. I think I would quite like to get another occupation card because I'm just looking at this tutor. That allows me to, at any time in the game, pay a coin to play another card. But obviously I'm not really sure what cards are going to come out, so I don't know if I really want to play that quite yet. But it would be nice to have more of a choice of occupation cards. We also need some goods. So up here we've got our mountain spaces. We've got one for each round that comes out, and these deteriorate over time. So I can start mining away at that, and when I mine away, I can only go from left to right. You know what, instead, we're actually going to try and make use, no we're not, I was going to say, we're going to try and make use of our bow and arrows, but in the first instance, I think we're going to start going to mine away at some bits and pieces. So let's go here. I'm coming here. So this space means I can take 3 goods from a mountain space and then 2 goods from a different mountain space. Because I've placed in the 3rd column, I get to draw an occupation card. If I went in the 4th column with 4 Vikings, I can play an occupation card, and then you've got your 1 and 2, which don't allow you to do anything extra. So I can pick another occupation card. Oh, that's nice. So that allows me, every time I go to a upgrade 3 or upgrade 4, with one of those goods, I can upgrade it twice instead of once. So these aren't actually active. I need to play them at a later date. I'm just keeping them over here because I want them to be reasonably visible. So yes, I'm going to take 3 goods. So I'm going to take these 3, let's put them up here, and these 2. And then finally I've got 2 meeples. Shall I go hunting? Maybe. Let's go hunting. we're going hunting then, and there's 2 hunting spaces, but I want to go to this one because it requires less meeples. When you're hunting, you are rolling die. So we are going to be rolling this orange die here. I'll pop it over here while I'm rolling. We are trying to get to the lowest number possible. So 8-sided die, and so if we roll a 1 or a 2 or something, we can spend things to decrease that number. So you can spend a bow and arrow to decrease that number by 1, and you can spend pieces of wood to decrease that number by 1 as well. So we're going to just try and get 0 basically. So we got a 1, perfect. What I'm going to do then is pay my bow and arrow to succeed at my hunting attempt. And then it tells you here what you get. So you get a hide and a piece of meat. So there we go. And then, that's a shame actually, because this could have been really good to do. This is trade a hide and your linen for 2 coins and a coat. And the coats are really big tiles. But we won't do that. I think now I'm going to think about, you can do these sorts of things at any time, like place your tiles out and move things around. Once they're placed, you shouldn't really start moving them at a later date. So I may take it back if it's in the same turn, but I'll try not to take, I will be cheating really if I take it back at any other time other than during the same turn. But I'm going to start to prepare my feast so I know where I am in terms of food supply. You are basically trying to fill these gaps. This is where all your Vikings are lining up along their feasting table. And as you can see, like our meeples are blocking some spaces at the moment. As the game progresses, we're going to be taking meeples off and increasing our meeple count that we can play with on our turn. Which means that more and more Vikings are in our colony and we need to therefore feed them more. But at the moment, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces I need to fill. And there are a couple of rules that you need to be mindful of. So you can put red, orange and money on this area. Anything else the Vikings don't want. So basically they only want food or money to go and buy food. They don't want like actual goods, like what would they do with some linen or something. So you also can't put the same colours next to each other. So it has to go like orange, red, or you could do orange, money, red, money, orange. And the other rule as well is that you cannot duplicate the same item on the table. The Vikings get bored. If you do, you get a penalty and you have to rotate one of the tiles the other way. So that's quite good if you've got square tiles, because even if you rotate it, it's not going to change like the area that it's taking up. But obviously if you have a tile like this and then you play another one, you're going to need to stick one of them the opposite way and you're wasting a little space essentially. So at the moment I think I'd be potentially looking to feed them beans, peas and mead. We have got 1 meeple left though. Do we want to do anything exciting with that one? Maybe. I'm actually eyeing up this, which is spend a rock to get a coin and a rune. Or I could look to, ideally I do want to try and do that, I think. But I'll have to wait till next round, so I'm just wondering if I can keep these 2 items back just for a moment. Yes, let's go here then. We're going to spend a rock. And that gives us a coin. If I can find a single coin. They come in like different sections, so you can get doubles. I've got triples and larger areas of there are singles. I only need the 1 coin and a rune. Okay, and that is the end of that round. So then we go down to determine start player. That's only relevant in a multiplayer game. Then we come to our income. So this is where we look at our home board, and I'm going to now think about what I want to put on my home board to increase my income. You'll see they all go up in like diagonal lines here. So the rule is that you can only cover a space with the actual income on when everything to the left, right, and you basically covered everything below it, and that includes all to the side and all below and everything in between. So you're always like branching out like further and further. So I wanted to try and keep these two goods back really. So what I think I might do, you've also got little tiles here. We'll look at that in a second. I might explain it then, but they're bonuses. So if you surround a certain square on these boards, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the home board, you get the bonus in the later stages. So yeah, I'm gonna stick this here, cover up the 0 income space and leave it like that. So my income is only 1 coin, but that's fine. We're then breeding any animals. You can have sheep, which will be here, and cows, which will be here. I don't have any. So now we have our feast. This is where we need to check whether we have fed all of our Vikings. Much like Uwe's other games, if you don't feed, you get a big penalty. I think it's -3 points, so it's not great. You want to try and feed everyone if you can. So we have fed everyone. We filled up all the spaces between the edge of the table and the next Viking. So we just get rid of all of those tiles back to the supply. And then this is where we have a look at our bonuses. So if we've surrounded, like completely surrounded, including diagonals, any squares, including goods that are showing goods on our tiles, or our exploration boards or sheds or anything like that, we get the bonus, but I don't have anything. We then on stage 11, it goes super quick when I'm explaining, it's fine. But update and add new mountain strips. So let's move this out of the way. This is where our mountains are deteriorating. So we take the leftmost good and it just sort of wears away, it erodes. But we reveal a new strip. And all of the goods are ready for our taking next round. So these ones have wood, stone, ore and money. Some of them I believe don't have ore on them, but they will always have wood and stone and money, I think. And then finally, we remove all of the Vikings placed from the action board. But in a solo game, we start that on round 2 because this game is interesting, much like, in fact, I don't know of another Uwe game that does this. Haven't played one yet, but you leave the workers on the board. This is why I'm playing with 2 different colours, because we're going to be playing with the black meeples now. We cannot go to where my yellow workers are blocking, but in the next round after that, we're going to be taking back our yellows, and then the black workers are going to be blocking spaces. So there's always going to be some areas you can't go to 2 rounds in a row, which makes it really interesting. But for now, all we're doing is moving these guys up and starting a new round. Okay, so we are in now round 2. So we are just taking first Vikings. So we're now taking 2. We're also harvesting. So here we're taking goods of value 1 and 2. So we've got all the same as last time, as well as a nice wheat. Wheat, beans, peas and flax. Flipping, we don't flip, we're starting to flip next round. Draw a new weapon. We've got a sword. Interesting. Swords, you don't ever start with a sword. You have to draw them from the weapon pile, and this allows you to go raiding and pillaging. So I might think about doing that in a minute. Maybe. And go into our actions. Before I forget then, I want to go here. This allows me to trade my hide and my linen for, I need to get up. Oh dear. A coat and 2 coins. So this is a really big tile. It's a 4x3 tile, which is amazing. I was hoping to place it somewhere like that. Now, if you remember, I said you cannot cover an income space until everything to the left, below, and encapsulating those areas is covered. So I won't be able to just leave it like this. I would have to ensure, because I'm covering this topmost space, that these squares are covered. I don't necessarily have to place anything on this bonus space, but I can if I want to. But ideally I'd like to keep that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd need something to cover 5 spaces. But we'll think about that in a moment. Let's just play through some of the round and see how it goes. Now, to raid and pillage, I need I don't know what their proper names are, basically like a longboat. a big raiding boat. And these are up here. Now you can acquire these in 2 ways. You can go to action spaces up here, which allow you to buy them with wood or stone, or you can buy them straight out. So this one I think costs 8 coins, and obviously I've only got 4 coins, so I'm not going to do that. You can buy them at any point. So I think I will probably go and grab one maybe next round. Maybe I'll just try and focus on building up my income a little bit more. Thinking of potentially grabbing one of these like sheds as well. You've got like 3 different like tiles you can grab. It's like in additions you can start filling these up with goods, including your orange and red goods, so they can be a lot more versatile than your home board. Maybe I'll look to do that actually. So ideally I think I want to go to that one. I don't have any stone. I'm actually also second guessing myself, because this middle one here has got 2 ore and 2 coins, which is amazing. So I think I may consider going to this place instead to get 3 materials from a mountain section. Let's do that. I'm going to go there to get 3 materials from a mountain section. So I've got 2 ore and 2 coins. That then is gone from the game. That's pretty nice actually. I'm going to now stick my coat in there, and I'm going to fill this place up with coins and ore. Got my ore in there, and I'm going to place that one there. Perfect. I never wonder when the opportune moment to go exploring is. I don't think it's any good to go exploring right now. Going exploring is gaining one of these big tiles over in the corner, which I'll pop up on the screen now. Basically you can put goods and maybe get some extra income or bonuses every round, but they're worth quite a lot of minus points at the end of the game, and I'm just not good enough at this game to really rank up all of my production, to really sort of get them going to the best of their ability. I struggle sometimes, and so I think it's just way too early to do that at the moment, but don't know, we'll see. What I'm actually considering is this place here. I can spend a wood or an ore, I've got lots of wood, to get a coin and a little chest, which is a blue tile, because what I'm looking at is this bonus ore space, or even this bonus wood, because I could stick that blue tile here and then put my 3 coins here. Then I could get some bonus ore. That could be nice. Yes, you know what, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to come to this one with my 2 Vikings, spend a wood to get 1 coin, 1 silver, they call it silver I believe, and a treasure chest. I'll think about what I want to do with that in a moment. I think I want to get some more goods. Maybe. Let's actually put that in there, because what I could do is go to this one, gain a stone or a wood and upgrade one. I'm thinking, could I upgrade this to a green tile? So that means I could pop it in here. Would that be useful? Let's see what sort of shape it could make. I could put you, say, there. That could be useful, but this is my only red tile and I may need that for food. This is confusing. No, let's get the income. There we go. So we're gonna have 3 income and an ore and a mead next round. So I need to think about how I'm going to feed my people. The reason I don't want to use this one really is I'm only really utilising the 3 spaces, not the full 6. Because it's just a bit of a waste if you think about how much more area that could use up instead of feeding. So I want to use the little skinny ones. Maybe I could use that last coin then. You can get red tiles to like put them here, and I just find them they're a bit of a like an underpowered thing. Okay, I'm going to go to this one here then. I'm going to take one stone and upgrade a tile. So I'm going to upgrade this meat for like fish bones. And I think I'm just going to retain that for now because I can't increase my income. I'll save it for next round. And that's us done. So now we go to income. I'm not going to place anything else, so I get 3 coins. 3 silver. Animal breeding, we don't have any feast. So let's just get rid of this. And then bonuses. So I have a mead and an ore to take for that. And then update and deteriorate all your mountain strips. This one's nice because it's got a double coin space. I think all the others have single coin spaces. It's also got double ore, so this is a bit of a gold mine, this or should I say silver mine, this mountain strip. And then this is where we now remove our yellow workers. And you can see which colour you're on by who's next in line. So this is where we grab our yellow meeples here. Unfortunately, in round 3, we don't get any harvest. So we need to be quite mindful of that going towards the end of the round. We need to make sure we can feed our Vikings. But we are now starting to flip tiles. So I'll put them on screen again. We are flipping A, which is Shetland. So we're going to go ahead and flip that tile, and that one reveals Bear Island. I will also pop a picture of all of the flipped versions on screen as well. And anything that isn't flipped gains 2 silver when you take, or if and when you take those tiles, and it has any silver on it, you also gain that silver. So it's beneficial to sort of hold out for when flipping starts to happen, and then you can gain those exploration tiles and then you get extra silver. Now, I don't 100% know because it's a bit unclear in the rules, and I haven't found any conclusive answer online, but when you now flip more tiles, I think that the tiles that have already been flipped still accumulate more silver. I think the idea is that if somebody wants to like quickly grab that particular one because that's their favourite, once it's flipped, they can do so, but they miss out on extra silver. But so it makes sense to then start to accumulate silver again. But if you do know that for certain, whether that is the true rule or not, please do let me know. Because I can't find the true answer anywhere. It's just how I'm playing it, and how I will do so today makes sense to me. So we're now in our action phase. We've gained a snare. I don't really want a snare, but we'll take it. I really want a boat. I'm going to go for a boat. We're not going to think much more about it. So we're going to go here, pay 2 wood. We're going to also gain an occupation card. Ooh, linen weaver. This is nice. So this allows you to pay 2 flax and a coin to get them into linen. Does seem a bit of a tight deal there when you can just do it for cheaper here, but it allows you to do it without placing a meeple and stuff. So so I'm buying one of these big long ships. Very nice. Now, I don't know whether to go raiding. Raiding is this space here. So this allows you to spend swords and stone to try and get as high a roll as possible. Instead of when you're like hunting and whaling and things like that, you're trying to roll low and then get your value to 0. When you're raiding and pillaging, you're trying to roll high. And the higher your number, the more valuable good you can take. So there are, and again, I'll pop the picture on so you can see. At the very top, I've got some like treasures and various items that you can raid. You can also buy them in certain spaces on your board, or craft them even, and they're quite like valuable, and they're quite big tiles as well. So when you're raiding and pillaging, it gives you like a combat value. So if you meet that value or exceed it, you can take the tile. Your blue tiles also in the storage tray, so I've got to my right, have values, combat values on as well. So for example, this tiny little rune space, if I rolled a 6, for example, or more, I could take that one and place it anywhere I want to. I don't know whether to do that because this requires this red boat with no ore on it. Ore can help to increase your value, your roll value. For every ore you've got on your boat, it increases your roll by 1. I may do that. What else do I want to do on this turn? I was also considering buying this like shed, because this one's got a bonus in it of a hide, which could be really nice. I don't know whether that's what I want to do. Ooh, what do I want to do? Let's try it. Let's go raiding. So I'm going to go here. And this is rolling this orange die. So I'm going to try and roll as high as possible. And you can roll up to 3 times. So if you don't like your first roll, you can discard that. So I don't want this 2. You can discard that one and re-roll it again up to 3 times. 6 I have now. I think I may take that, and I may spend this to make it a 7. I could spend the rock as well to make it an 8. I wonder if that would be better. I'm going to spend the sword and the rock to make it an 8. And that allows me, ooh, actually I might go for one of these tiles. Yeah. Let's go for, I'm eyeing up this like crucifix. I'm going to do a little bit of faffing around with my shapes, see which ones work better. These are both value 8. I see one that's going to be even better actually. I'm trying to make sure I get this bonus space. I think it's just a waste to not. I could put that there. Which one's bigger? That's 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are they all the same? I'm assuming they're all the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that one's less. Okay, so these are the better bang for your buck. So I could either do this or, yeah, that looks good. Or this. And I think that looks better. I'm going to go for that one and stick a coin in that, like that, so I can cover that income space. There we go. So that was quite successful. I'm getting a little bit worried about feeding my Vikings, so they can have the mead and the beans. I really want to try and keep this flax because I'm conscious of this space here to turn it into linen. And I'm also conscious of this linen weaver. If I could hold out till next time, I could convert them both into 2 linens. Maybe I should try and get an engine like that going. Okay, I think I've got a little plan. And I don't know whether it's going to work out, but let's try it. I'm going to come here to spend my ore to play a card. I'm going to go for this one here. The tutor. I'm going to pop these here. I also gain 1 silver. Then I want to come here to pay 2 silver to gain 2 salt meat. And then that can push up there, that can push up there. And then I fed my Vikings. I then think I want to spend this 1 silver to play this merchant card. And then that allows me, when I go to a 3 or 4 upgrading space, like here, I can upgrade things twice, one of them. So I'm going to come here, I believe. Do I want to do that? Maybe. I wanted to keep this flax, but that hasn't happened. That's fine. So this allows me to upgrade one of these twice. And I think I'm going to take the salt meat. So that actually comes to fancy cloth, and these two upgrade once. I think that's pretty good. Some of these cards are worth money at the end of the game, worth points at the end of the game as well. So this merchant's worth 1. I think that's okay. And then we'll work on raiding next time, getting some ore, perhaps. Okay, let's think about where we want to place these tiles. So I've got one that could go, I think is, I won't be able, I can only cover this 4 income space if I now cover up my stone bonus with these particular tiles. So I don't think I'm actually going to be able to increase the amount of income I get right now. So maybe I'll just ignore that. And I won't be able to either increase my amount of bonuses that I get. So I think I'm just going to keep all my tiles and we'll see how next round pans out. So my income is 4. We're going to skip down to feast. So this is where, like, I could, if I wanted to, we can now rearrange what we want to feast. So I could potentially look to take that salt meat out and give him a coin instead. Would that be good? I wonder if money is more important to me right now than salt meat. Thing is, though, that money is just a bit more versatile than the salt meat, so maybe I'll keep the fish. Perhaps. I think I'm going to keep it as it was, so get rid of the mead and the beans and the salt meat. Bonuses. So we're getting an ore, a wood, and a mead back. There we go. An update, all of these mountain tiles. So we're getting quite a lot of goods out and about now. Okay, and then we just remove our Vikings. So we are taking back our black workers. And now we are on round 4. So first of all, we're just going to take our new Vikings. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. And then harvesting. So we are now back to a harvest, and this time we are gaining everything from value 1 to 3, which is amazing because now we get a cabbage. Nice cabbage. Some wheat, beans, flax, and peas. So we got quite a lot of goods going on now. We are now flipping, I believe, tile B. So this is where I wasn't 100% sure. I'm going to put 2 silver on tile A, which has already been flipped. It's not clear whether you still accumulate, but we're going to. So Faroe Islands is going to come to Baffin Island. I think I'm waiting for Newfoundland. I think Newfoundland is where Greenland flips, and that's not for another 2 rounds. That's, risky. But as I say, I'm not very good at this game, so probably people are looking at me as like I'm an absolute fool. I'm also eyeing up Iceland. Iceland is nice. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Let's draw a weapon card and see where that gets us. Good, we got a sword. We want to go pillaging. Let's go pillaging. So to go pillaging, you can go to these spaces and you're actually rolling, trying to get as high as possible, but you're rolling a nice 12-sided die, D12. You can put ore to help with your pillaging attempt, so I might try that. I'm just wondering as well if I need to get a shed or a longhouse or something. Let's see how we get on with raiding and pillaging. No, we're actually going to go and get some goods first, because we could then offset or increase our die roll number with rocks. So if we can actually go perhaps to this one, because we need some more occupation cards. Let's go here, draw an occupation card, because this one's just not really any good for us. Interesting, a one-time bonus of either taking 4 from a mountain space or drawing the crucifix, which we were looking at earlier. That's nice, I like that one. We'll play that one in a minute. So I can draw 3 and a 2 from mountain spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and grab 2 ore, stone and a wood. Now, I don't know actually whether to go for these coins. I think I might. Just going to go for the coins. That's nice. And then we're going to go pillaging. We're going to put 2 ore, I think, on this longboat. So let's see how much we can roll. So we're trying to roll as high as possible. A 10, we've got 11, 12. We could get 13 with using our sword, but 12 is a respectable number, so I think we might just stick with the 12 for now. Just eyeing up what we can buy for 12. We could buy this, which is very nice. Or we could buy a big chest. Oh, let's see. So this is 9 squares. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is better. And it would fit very nicely in there. I'm going to go there. Good, so I've got 10, 11, 12, and this cost me 12 combat points essentially. So that is perfect. You do get like a consolation prize whenever you sort of fail one of these attempts. Same with your hunting. So if I did fail at my pillaging attempt, I get 3 rerolls, 2 rerolls, remember. I actually gain a stone as a consolation prize. I gain a sword as a consolation prize, and I can take back one of these meeples on this space. It also reflects it here as well. I wonder if I should go here and pillage again, or is that a bit keen? I think that's a bit keen. So I was going to pay 1 silver. Let's change you up for a silver to play this card. Now, what's going to be more beneficial for me? I think to take the crucifix. Definitely take the crucifix, because that can fit very nicely. Oh no, it won't. My polyomino imagination is just not as it should be. I want to try and surround this rune space, because a rune is a nice blue tile. Maybe I should wait for a minute, because in a couple of rounds these two will deteriorate, and then I could take all of this, the 2 ore and lots of silver. Maybe I'll take my silver back then. Let's think about it a bit more. I'm going to start trying to think about feeding my people. That could be quite good. Then I've got 1 space left. I really want to start thinking about where I'm going to go with my explorations. Baffin Island does look quite nice as well. Alright, we're going to go and get I think it's a shed. We're going to spend that stone to grab this here. I don't know if that's a good idea. We'll think about it in a minute. You know what? I'm going to put the fish in here. And then maybe pop this, start to think about popping these things up there in a minute. We can put red tiles in this, see? We can put blue, green, red and orange and money, but no ore in here. So it differs from your home board. So I've got 2 left. I've got an ore and a money I could grab up there, which could be really nice. I've also got a flax I could convert. Yeah, let's not waste this opportunity. So let's get the ore and the money. So that one's empty. And I've got 1 more meeple. We're fully fed. Let's think about what we want to do with all of our tiles. So let's go back over here. I'm eyeing up. Oh, I could just stick that one in there. Is that a waste? Probably. I don't really want to stick blue tiles in there if I can help it. I could pop you in there, which means I need to cover these 2 spaces. I want to keep my ore if possible. I could pop you in there. And pop you in. Where's the 5? There. And then I've also got this tile. I wonder, I could pop you in there, cover up that 6 income. Let's put you in there. And let's change you up for single ones. This is nice. There we go. We've got a nice slot there and a nice slot there. Very nice. I think that's worked out well. We'll think about this one next time because unfortunately I can't put ore in there anyway, and I won't. Oh, I might be able to. These ones, you cannot put orange tiles like adjacent to each other. I could actually make it work. I could do this and change up my 2 money to surround it. Shall I do that? Maybe. Veteran players are probably watching me like, what is this girl doing? At least I then get the bonus. I think the earlier you get the bonuses, the better it's going to be, essentially. But I don't know if that's a waste. Especially as next round we're not actually harvesting. Yeah, actually, then maybe it's more beneficial for me to use this. But then I haven't covered up this space. No, let's go for the flax. Go for the flax. There we go. I think we're happy. We've got 1 more meeple that we can use. Good job I didn't change up my flax. I could have put the green tile in there though. You know what? At this point in time, I think I'm going to go here, spend 2 wood to grab this tile. These are really easy to get really quick points at the end of the game. So I think I might just grab it now whilst I've got a spare meeple hanging around. And see where that gets us, I think. So that's all of our meeples. We're now on income. So the only income we've got is still from here. So we're on 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's quite nice. No animals, and then feast. So we can still feed everyone. So that's really good. Bonuses. So up here now we've got a hide. And down here we've got an ore, a wood, a stone, a mead, and a rune. So that's really good now. Right, my materials are coming up here. My goods and money are staying down here. Mountain strips. And then we're just removing our meeples, so we're removing our yellows. Okay, round 5, so you're coming off. Harvesting, we don't get a harvest, so we're going straight to flipping. So we're flipping tile C. So let's flip C. Iceland goes to Labrador. 4, okay, and then a weapon. Sword, I want a sword. No. Snare. All right, we need to get a move on, I think. Next round, we're going to go and explore to Newfoundland, which is this space here. It's going to cost me 3 meeples, and I need a boat. I've got the boat. So before I think too much more about it, I'm going to come here with my 3 meeples. to the pillaging space, I think. This allows me to pick up an occupation card. So with at least 3, 4 or 5 special tiles in your supply and on your boards, you can gain one of these tiles. I've got 2 special tiles, but hopefully I can get 3 in a minute. So that could be really good to play after my other one. So we're now rolling again. So we're trying to roll as high as possible. And we've got our boat and we've got 1 sword. So let's see. We've also got a rock. A 9. 10, 11. 11. That could be nice. Shall I actually put one of those ore to it? Technically you should assign the ore, I think, before you roll. I didn't think about that though. No, we're going to go for the 11. The 11's a nice number. And then I'm eyeing up this one here. I think that's the best bang for your buck. What have we got over here? Oh, again, we could get this big chest. So that's 9 squares. Oh, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're the same. I wonder if one of them's going to be easier to maneuver around. That one's a bit of a pain, isn't it? But then this is a bit of a pain as well because you've got the long section up here. What do I want? I think let's go for you. I'm going to stick that one like that. Oh, out. And that's that. I'm getting worried about feeding everyone. Because what have I got? I've got this, this. I don't really want to use this cabbage. And I've still a few spaces off. I have got money. Before I forget, what I'm going to do is go here. I'm going to take this stone and upgrade a tile. I don't have many tiles to upgrade. Do I want to actually upgrade this? I'm going to upgrade that because I don't want to use this. We're going to have to feed them some other way. I'm then going to pay 1 coin because my tutor allows me to play a card. I'm going to choose the take 4 items from a mountain space. So I'm going to take the double ore and the double coins. So that's fine. That's a one-time use. That's really nice. I've got lots of money. I think I need to go and get some food, whether I like it or not. So I wonder if I should go here and get some red and orange. I think so. Let's go there then to get a fish and a flax and 1 coin. So that allows me to perhaps put that like that and that like that, and then they're fully fed. So I think that was good. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So we've got quite a few things going on here. I could put this one like this. Perhaps. Let's not do too much over there at the moment. This one, I'm going to try and wait until I've got more of these tiles because I need the special tiles, which are the like treasures, these grey ones. I've got 3 at the moment, so I could get a blue item, but I'm going to try and wait to upgrade this to a better one, a bigger and better one. I'm wondering if I should go and lay a snare because I've got 3 snares. It's just a bit of a waste to not use them. Let's go and do it. Let's go hunting. Let's go for a snare. So now we're trying to roll as low as possible. A 6, that's no good. I'm going to ignore that. 4, I would have to pay a wood. I don't want to pay a wood if I'm honest. So we're just going to go again and hope for the best. A 5. So we're going to declare that a failure. What happens is we do get a consolation prize. So I'm going to take back a worker. I get a snare and a piece of wood. So that I think was potentially more beneficial for us anyway. Let's look at the bottom for a snare. So not overly successful, but still better than not a lot. I'm still mindful because these are all worth minus points at the end of the game. We've got -1 for the empty wood space, -1 for the empty stone space, but I'm going to just be mindful of that and try and fill them at the end of the round when I know I've sort of finished doing what I want to do. I've just seen this space here as well. This is like a crafting space, so what you can do is spend an ore to craft. The treasure board has like 2 sections to it. Some of them you can buy, like in the trading space here, you can battle like we've been doing to gain them, or you can craft them. So this is the crafting space. Do I want to craft any? Maybe. I'm gonna see if that one fits nicely. That one could fit really nicely here. It's still not going to be beneficial to me this round though. It's not going to increase my income or anything. So maybe I should think about things that are going to set me up well for next round. Occupation cards are quite good, especially as I've got the ability to just play them by spending the money. So that could be really good to do. I don't want to emigrate yet because I need my boat for next round. Maybe we do want to emigrate, you know. I could go here and get a boat and then look to emigrate it just for the sake of it. I've got lots of money. But because I've got so much money, I could potentially increase my income. So maybe I'll look to do the income then, because this tile actually could fit very nicely here instead. Ooh. There's lots of stuff I could do. Lots of stuff. This could look very nice there as well, actually. Okay, we're going to do this then, because it does 2 in 1. We're going to draw an occupation card because we're in the 3rd column. So for every spice you receive in your supply, you get a barrel. We're not tending to gain those very much, so that's not overly useful. I'm going to spend an ore to then buy one of these craftable bits. And I think I want this one, because then I could stick it here and look to cover up all of these. So I could put you there. I've got all this ore. Do I want any ore now? Not really. And then that's going to just cost me 3 coins. I think that was useful. Let's go with that, shall we? Let's go with that. And that's all of us done. So income, we're on 9 now, which is pretty darn good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got a nice lot of money here. And then we breed and feast. So these will disappear. And bonuses. So again, we gain our hide from our little like shed over here. And then we gain an ore, a wood, a stone, a rune, and a mead. Good, good, good. Update mountain strips. And then remove Viking's place. So we're now on our black meeples. And starting round 6. So we're nearly there. We've still got quite a lot of room here. I'm getting a little bit worried. We'll see. I'm not the best at this game. It's just so fun. I love it, but there's a lot going on. We're harvesting values 1 to 4. So this is our last harvest of the game now. We don't harvest next time. So that's just something to be mindful of again. I think we're going to be off the screen a little bit here, but we've got quite a lot of goods now, including our fruit basket, which is quite a large tile. And then our final flip. So we are flipping Greenland, and Greenland is going to go to Newfoundland. And I think that is where we want to go. Ultimately, we'll have a look in a minute. Draw a weapon. Sword. No. Bow and arrow. Okay. Right. Priorities. What are our priorities? Good question. I think we need to go and explore to Newfoundland, because ultimately that's where big points are if we could cover things up. Right, we're going to do something a little out of order and see where that ends up. First of all, we're coming over here to draw an occupation card. Village leader. Before the feast, with at least 1 coat in your supply, you gain 2 silver. And that's a bit late in the game now. It is worth 3 points at the end of the game, so that could be worth bearing in mind. I could trade out silver to play it, and then at least it's worth 3 points. Any silver is only worth 1 point. We're then going to spend 2 wood to gain a boat. I should have bought it, perhaps. Maybe I should have bought that instead. Don't know. We're then going to go raiding, because raiding, you are not allowed to use a boat with ore in it. So I could not have used this boat. You cannot just remove this ore, it stays in there. So I have now got a boat without ore in it. So let's see. Oh dear. We're going to roll on here. Let's see if, where does this go? Here. I can get as high as possible roll. I've got a 4, 5. That's going to be a fail unless I spend my stone. We're going to go for another roll, I think. A 5. We're going to take that. So that's 5 and a 6. You know what? 7, 8. Yeah, 7, 8. Yes, we're going to go 7, 8 to get a fancy tile, because that's going to only help us when we play this one in a minute. So I've got a value of 8. I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This crucifix here. I think so. And potentially play you. I can't play you anywhere there at the moment. We're going to play you here. Maybe it would be better, let's keep you at the moment. Because now, what I'm going to do is emigrate. When you emigrate, this basically means you're sending out some Vikings to live somewhere else. What happens is they need to take one of your boats and you flip it, place it here to represent there's less Vikings for you to feed now. And you are gaining more and more points, and you can basically fill up all of your table with emigrated Vikings. That means you have to feed them less, which is really nice, and they're also worth a whopping amount of points at the end of the game. This one's worth 21 points. You can emigrate with the blue ships as well. They're worth 18 points. You cannot emigrate on whaling boats. Sorry, I'm showing the camera with things that are off the screen, but you've got whaling boats, your blue ships and your red ships. I've got 2 red ships, and I'm going to emigrate them. The cost to emigrate is your round number. So we're on round 6, so I need to spend 6 silver to send them off with that money so they can start their new life. We're then going to come here to draw another occupation card. Oh no, darn it. 1 immigration action. Pay, and you get a discount equal to your number of large ships. So I could have got a discount of 1, but still, that's not too bad. So I'm going here. I'm going to grab Newfoundland, and this is going to be where everything just goes downhill, isn't it? I'm going to need to do some maneuvering around as well. So I'm going to move my weapons over here. Newfoundland is coming here. So this is very much like your home board. You just need to fill up all the spaces. You've got some bonuses here and here and here, and there's no income on this one. Some of the others have income that you can take into consideration. And this one only allows me to place blue and green tiles. These ones can be placed anywhere you want to. The craftable, the ones you can get from raiding. I was keeping this one because I think I want to use it on this tile. I want to try and get, they've got a nice bonus here to take one of these extra tiles. And that's just amazing. So I think I might want to try and do that in a minute. I need to really consider feeding as well, because right now we're not feeding pretty much anyone. So let's feed first. You can go there. And I'm probably just going to feed you with a coin. That could be good. Right, let's actually work this out then. So if I could put my crucifix, say like this, and do this, and I want to get you into 2 and do this, then at least I'm getting that as a bonus. I think I want to get some materials in a minute to start filling in these spaces. I wonder as well if I can actually get a second lot of bonus. Let's try and get as much as possible. Let's just try and get as much as possible. I get a bit carried away. I love the polyomino aspect of it. It's just so fun and so tactile. So it's probably not very strategic, but I don't really care. It's so good. I was wanting to get this one as well, really, because this one allows you to get another one of these sheds. But we haven't even covered up all the negative spaces in that one yet, so maybe we won't. I think that might be better than actually getting these whale bones. All right, let's grab some more materials, and maybe we can we get some more like things, because what we got, we'd need an extra 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. Or what we could do, I'm actually going to think about this. So how many special tiles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to spend a silver to play this now. So I'm able to grab some fancy jewellery. Honestly, this is probably better off on my home board up here than funnying around down here. But it's just so tempting. Let's think about it in a minute. I do really want that bonus. Maybe I'll rearrange it so it's like this. Like, then I could stick that there. I could stick that there. Or that there. Let's take it all off. We'll think about it momentarily when we've finished. We fed everyone, so they're all happy. I'm going pillaging. So I'm trying to roll as high as I can. Do I want to put that extra ore in? I don't. No, we're not putting that ore in. 9. 9, 10, 11 we've got then. I think we might go for that. Do we have a sword? We could do a 12. I'm just looking, because if I could get a 13, what could I do with this one? I could stick that in there like that. Ooh. That's risky though, to roll a 10 at least. Shall I risk it? Shall I? I don't think I will. I'm not brave enough for that. We're going to. Oh my god. 3, no. 11, 12, 13. Oh my god. I managed to get it. That was amazing. Didn't even have to spend my sword. Alright, so this is so stupid. I shouldn't put it in there, but it doesn't fit anywhere else, so I'm going to. I'm going to put it in here. And that's all my meeples, so I can now fiddle around over here. This is so much better up here, isn't it? I'm going to pop that. It doesn't fit down there anymore, so that's good. I'm going to pop you in there. I'm going to stick this one here and cover you all up. I've got an ore that I can use as well. Am I able to get this bonus? No, I'd need one more thing, so that's fine. We'll take that as a loss there. So I think we're just going to try and cover up some extra bits here. We're not going to be able, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd need an extra 4 bits here to be able to get an increase in income there. So we're not going to do that. We're going to just try and fill in some gaps. Or shall I just keep my money? I'm going to keep my money there for just in case I want it for the next round. I don't want my ore anymore. But again, I may as well just keep it for the next round. So we're going to go straight to income. I'm on 9 income. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breeding, no, haven't gone down the animal route. That's the tactic that I tried the other day, last night, and it went so badly, so badly. Right, we're getting a hide, an ore, a wood, a stone, a rune, and some mead. And then we are gaining this fancy tile. And we're gaining another board, a shed. Right, we are suffering here. What do I do with you? I think you guys are going to have to move over there. And this is going to come here. Got so much stuff everywhere. Now what, I actually got this tile in the income phase, but technically everything in your income phase, in your bonus phase, gets accumulated at once. So I technically couldn't use anything I obtained from that. So for example, like this special tile I accumulated during that bonus phase. I couldn't then stick that in here to try and get this bonus as well. It doesn't work like that. Then we just update our mountain strips, and we have got our last one out and about. We get one for every single round. And then finally we take back our yellow meeples. So looking at the board now, in round 7, we've got quite a lot of negative spaces we need to fill up. We've got all of this along here, a couple down here, got a couple in here. We can fill up all of our ore and stuff, or our wood and bits in a minute. But there's a lot we need to do. There's a lot we need to achieve. I don't know how well that's going to go. So let's start off, I think, with placing some bits that we know we don't want now. So this could be good up here, perhaps. That could also be good here. But this is going to help us more. In fact, let's get this one involved. And then, oh, I don't know, I'm not very good at things like this. something like that. Just looking at these extra cards. I mean, maybe I could look to play this village leader because it's still going to give me points at the end of the game, even if I won't use its ability. What do we want to achieve this round then? We need to fill up, we need to get materials as quick as possible. We want to emigrate this Viking ship, which is going to cost me 7 coins. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try to put you to the side. We need to feed people. We've got this big tile as well, which could look very nice there. So maybe I could look to upgrade that a couple of times. So if I actually went, have to be, I'm trying to use this merchant, but that's only going to be active when it goes to, when I go to that space or that space, or this space, but that's to do with weapons, and these don't give me any goods or materials. What it would have been better to do, actually, I still have an ore. I wonder if I should go here. I'm worried about the amount of meeples I've got as well, because I could then craft this big warhammer, and this could go very nicely here. I might actually do that. That looks a bit tasty. Master count. So if I choose this space here, which we've not been doing at all, because this requires blue ships. It's to do with like trading and upgrading your goods. There's a Nar, the blue ships are Nars. We're not going to look at that one. But again, that's worth 2 points at the end of the game, so maybe we'll just buy it for the points. Anyway, we are spending 1 ore to get this nice sledgehammer warrior axe thing. We're then going to pop that over here, and we have covered up our 9 income space. So I need to do a bit of fiddling to make sure that that's a legal move. So let's put you in there, and then I need to change this silver into 2 single pieces. There we go. So that's looking a bit better now. We've still got lots of minus points, but there's a lot less. I wonder if I should pillage for one final time, because there's a nice tile here which is nice and straight. I could stick that in here like that, for example. But then, I don't know, it would be better to just upgrade the goods I've got. So we need to keep 3 meeples back for our emigrating. I think I'm going to go here to get 3 pieces of material. Let's stick some away and see what we're missing now. Everything. We're missing everything. So we need 2 wood, 2 stone, 3 stone. IT can take 3. So I can go 1, 2, 3. And then I'm able to upgrade a good once. I don't think I have room for you anymore, so you could potentially go for food. In which case I may upgrade this meat here for some whale bones and look to stick you here. This mead. So we only need 2 rocks now. Maybe I could have done that better. Done it now, it's fine. I have seen a nice space. I'm going to trade my flax in for linen, and this linen can go straight in here. That's looking nice as well. So we could look to feed you like that. Do I have space for you anymore? I could stick you like that. Ideally, I want to cover up some of these. Don't know. There's a lot to cover up here. So I could get some more food tiles. They could be good. What do we have in terms of... Maybe we should go and lay a snare. Or we could go hunting. I think I might go hunting. Let's go hunting. So we're trying to roll low. 6 is no good. We have, how many? We've got 2 bows and arrows. No wood. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. 6 and a 6. And an 8. Wow, okay, that couldn't have gone worse. But as a consolation prize, we do gain a bow and arrow and a wood. And the wood is now useless. Oh, that was a really silly idea then. Ignore me for strategy because I am atrocious at it. Would have been better to go pillaging, but we haven't. Oh yeah, of course, so we're going to emigrate in a minute. Let's emigrate now, I think, because we're not going to go pillaging. So let's emigrate. Let's get that ship out the way. Let's take an occupation card. Succeeding laying a snare, you gain a point, silver. So this is going to cost us 7 because we're on round 7. And that means we lose this ore actually. This flips and these guys join our crew that's been expeditioning. So we can now finish off our feast up there. I really do want some extra rocks, and because if I did the 2 space that could be nice because I could get a rock and 2 silver which I can use to block spaces. Let's do that. I think that's probably good. They're both very useful things to have and they're both gaining me points. And before I forget it, I'm going to spend a silver to play this village leader. Not for its ability, so I won't put it on screen, but just because it's worth 3 points at the end of the game. And if I use a silver to like block up a -1 space, it's, you know, less valuable than that 3 points. And so I just need to maximize. Can I get any blue tiles now? Or I may as well get some red tiles, I think, because then I can cover up some spaces, negative spaces here. Do I want salt meat? Let's look at how big salt meat is. No, that's going to be way too big. I don't think I can get any green tiles to start covering this up. This board's been really poor. Hasn't made me, probably made me points. It tells you up in the corners like how many points it's worth. So 38 points at the end of the game. And it also tells you how many minus points it's got. So this one's got 40 lots of -1s that you need to cover up. But overall, like, it's gained me an extra special tile somewhere. It's gained me one of these. So overall, it's probably gained me something. So I think I'm better off getting 2 fish because I could put that one in here. I can then pop one in here as well. So that's worth 3 points essentially. Would that be good? 2 points because it's going to cost me a silver. Actually, I'm thinking I've got a spare wood. I could spend a wood to buy a whaling boat. Whaling boats are worth 3 points at the end of the game. Because I'm not using this last wood. Okay, so that's looking like the best option. Salt fish is probably less valuable. I don't want beans. I've got no cows. I have no rock. I don't want any more wood. Upgrade 2 tiles. I don't think I want to upgrade any tiles. I haven't got any tiles. I don't have any blue NARs. I don't want to explore. I don't want to gain an occupation card. Because the chances are that it's not going to be valuable to me. And I have no rock or ore. Okay, decided then. I'm going to go here to spend a wood to get a whaling boat. We are not whaling. Do I want to spend any silver to... So that's going to spend a silver, so this is overall net 1 point. So I will. In fact, I'm going to spend 2 silver to play both of these. And they are basically useless because I won't use their abilities, but they're worth points at the end of the game. Right, okay. We've got 3 left over, so I'm actually going to just stick these... Oh, here we go. This is nice. So we're going to cover up our income. So we've got 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So we end up with 15 income. We didn't manage to get the 18, but that's fine. So that is us done, essentially. Did I do all of this? Basically, there was no harvest this round. We didn't... I'm not sure if we did that. I think we missed this. It's fine, it's fine. We didn't need to do anything extra, really. We needed to draw a new weapon card, and I think we needed to add some more silver to the exploration boards. But we weren't looking in that direction anymore, so it's fine. We're now on the income phase, so because it's the last round, your income is basically worth 1 silver. Any silver in your supply is worth 1 point. But also you are looking at what your income is for points. So I'm not going to bother to gain it because it's going to be the same. It's just going to earn me 15 points because my income is 15. So we just finish off here with animal breeding and our last feast. We have successfully fed all of our Vikings each time. So that is perfect. And then we do not gain any bonuses this round, and we don't do anything with our mountain strips, so we proceed straight to final scoring. And I'm going to give you a calculator. So for final scoring, you basically add up all of the positive points and then look to get rid of all of your negative points. So we're going to start with ships. So each whaling, boat, gnar, and longship is scored. So I've only got 1 ship that's out and about still, so that's worth 3 points. And then we looked at emigration. So these are my emigration tiles. They're worth 21 each, so 42 points. Then we have a look at exploration boards. So Newfoundland was my one and only exploration board, and I'm just going to ignore the minus points at the moment and just add the 38 points. And then we got sheds and houses. So up here I've got 10 points for this shed or house. I think that's a house. That's a house. So I've got 2 houses, 20 points, and a shed for 28. So yeah, 28 points total. And then sheep and cattle. We did not buy any sheep or cattle, so we will ignore that. Then we go to our occupations. So we've played quite a lot of occupations in this game actually, but the only ones that are worth anything are the merchant, 1, trapper, master count, and village leader. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. And then silver. So this is why I didn't take my income. So we're just doing our silver. So I would have gained 15 points from my income. And then finally you have a look at who's got the English crown. This is a tile that you can get by combat only. You need a combat value of 16. I didn't get anywhere near close to that. I think my maximum was 13. So that's only worth 2 points at the end of the game anyway. So that is a total of 134, which would be very nice if that was our final score. But now we need to look at all of the negative points. And this is where you can also minus points if you didn't manage to feed all your Vikings, but we did luckily. So let's just look at what negative points we need to take off. So 134 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do that. And then we've got this poor tile. I maybe shouldn't have taken this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 102 points! So they say, what do they call it? They say 100 is considered a very good score for the solo game. So that is not too bad, actually, considering there's quite a lot of empty space on Newfoundland especially. But also I really haven't put too much into my houses either. That wasn't too bad, and I only managed 2 emigrations. So yeah, 102 points, 2 points over the very good score. That is A Feast for Odin, and this is the base game with no expansion. Like I said, I will be doing another playthrough with the Norwegians expansion at a later date. But this is how it plays, just straight out of the box. I hope you enjoyed it, and join me in a moment and we will discuss my final thoughts on A Feast for Odin. So just sharing some final thoughts on A Feast for Odin solo mode by Uwe Rosenberg. This is a game that I find incredibly entertaining because of the mix of base mechanisms and the tactile nature of this game. There is so much going on, and there's, I think, something for everybody. Just because you've got the typical worker placement, you've got some card play, you've got a bit of dice rolling, and you've got polyomino tiles. You've also got tile flipping as well, and upgrading your goods. There is just, and resource management as well. There's just, everything is packed into this game, and it just makes it a very whole experience, I think. At first, this game could definitely feel overwhelming. There, I think, are about 45 spaces just in this base game alone. And when I first got it out, I'd never seen quite so much going on in a game. There's so many spaces. There's so much to think about, like, do I want to place 1 meeple or 4 meeples? And they're all divided into different sections as well, like sailing or market or animal rearing, and you don't know what route to even go down, but I can say that with 100% certainty that it all completely makes sense, and it's definitely not too overwhelming once you know. The main reason being is that all of the spaces are in the areas quite similar, and so you don't tend to get too much variation in what you're doing when you're basically going sailing here and you're just using 1 boat, or you're sailing here and you just need to use a boat with no oar. So it's basically the same action, you just are doing some very slight variation of it, or for example, like paying 1 coin for 1 fish or paying 2 coins for 2 fish. And so it can feel very overwhelming when you first look at it and get it out, but the way things are grouped and the nature of all of the actions is so closely knit together that it can quite quickly feel like a very tied up game that's not too big in scope. I think this game is actually a really satisfying experience, especially in the aspect of the polyomino growth and placing all your tiles down. I really love the fact that you can gain like a green or a blue tile, and you sort of agonize over the decision of whether you want to place it on your home board and basically lock it in, or do you want to keep it for your shed that you're going to be creating that round or the next round, or keep it back for a later round and see if it's going to be more valuable elsewhere. It's a really nice decision-making space. It makes for really difficult and challenging decisions, but the polyomino aspect in itself is just such a fun mechanism for me, and it's quite unexpected in a typical worker placement game. It really, I think, gives this one a bit of an edge and a bit of more character, I would say, than a lot of his other games. And a lot of worker placement Euro games in general, this one does feel quite fresh and unique, and especially as it's tied into your income as well. It's really beneficial for you to really push up that income track. But in addition to that, the minus points are sort of around the edges rather than towards where your income is. So you've got to be very careful about whether you want to start making sure you tick off all your minus points at the end of the game, or do you really want to focus on increasing your income as fast as possible. The whole design of the home board has been thought about in so many different ways, and there's just so many layers to it, and I find it such a entertaining thing to get out and play every single time, because I'm finding different things to appreciate every single time I play it. I know some people say that there are some routes in this game that are less beneficial than others. Some strategies are weaker. Even some exploration boards that may be on the weaker side as compared to some others. I'm not 100% sure which exploration boards they think are more powerful. I think it might be Iceland. Funnily enough, I haven't actually got my best score using that tile, but I'm no expert at this game. And I do think that they do have some grounding there. I have especially found that the animal husbandry part of this game may be a bit weaker, and that's what I played last night. I got my worst ever score by trying to not focus solely on the animal aspect by dabbling in the animals. The animals do have a benefit that they breed, they give you points at the end of the game, and they can give you goods if you go to certain spaces, but also you can convert them to food directly, which is really sad. So that is one aspect to bear in mind in this game, because it is such a large scope. You may not find it, and I personally haven't played it enough to really sort of see that slight variation in strategy, strengths and weaknesses. But if you are somebody that is either really good at Euros or plays a game a lot of times and with maybe really strong players, that may be something you do notice. But as a solo player, it's something that I certainly haven't come across, and it could, I guess, be quite exciting to try and take one of the weaker considered strategies and really run with it and see how far you can bring that. That is one thing that I believe has been fixed to some extent in the Norwegians expansion, and I'm really excited to try and sort of explore that and see if I feel any difference in how the game works. But I can't comment on that yet because that's not something that I have been playing through. Going back to another thing that I really like about this game and can really appreciate, there's just so many little aspects of the game that I sort of think about every time I play it, and I'm like, oh, I think that's really cool. And one thing that I think is really cool is the aspect of the bonus spaces. So as well as on your home board and on your sheds and your longhouses, we didn't see the longhouses in my playthrough, but that's another tile that you can get. There's always a toss-up as to whether you sort of cover up those bonus spaces and just try and fit your tiles in as quick as possible to really expand your income and cover up those negative spaces, or do you try and surround them, like trying to manipulate all of your tiles in just the right way to get those bonuses? And that's something that I haven't quite grasped, whether it's really super beneficial to get those bonuses or whether it's better to just work with the tiles you've got, and if it doesn't work out, then oh well. I always get really carried away and excited with the bonuses. I really like trying to fit everything around just perfectly and get those bonuses, because I always feel that bonuses are good. Whether they are or not in the long run, I don't know, but it's just something else to think about. And I appreciate how all of the home board and all the extra buildings really sort of build in with one another and really sort of bounce off each other. I think it works very, very well and very seamlessly. On top of that as well, you've got the card play. So you do start out with an occupation card. There are actually 3 decks that come in the game. So you've got an A deck, B deck and a C deck. You can do what you want basically. Like, they suggest you start out with the A deck, but you can draft cards at the beginning of the game and choose one to start with. You can mix decks together. You can just go with a B or C deck, or whatever you want to do. It's up to you. I've just played with an A card today just because I don't play this game often enough to see them all. There's quite a lot there in each deck as well. And then you've got your big stack of additional cards that you draw during the game. That I played a few in this game as well, and they may be worth points, or they may give you one-time bonuses or ongoing persistent bonuses. There is an awful lot of cards in this game, and so it can feel really beneficial and really fun to go down that route, and it's very satisfying when you draw a card and it fits nicely into the strategy you're going to. But equally, it can be quite difficult to draw these cards and quite costly to draw these cards. And when you're drawing the cards, because there's so many of them, it's unlikely that the card is going to be really useful to you. And so some people may not appreciate that luck aspect. You may be able to draft a couple, say draft 2 cards and discard one, just to get that more card turnover and really sort of allow you bigger breadth of decision, and to try and allow you to sort of nurture your strategy a little bit more. I don't find it too much because I never sort of focus I feel like I dabble in a lot of different things in this game. I don't just focus on one thing. I like to do a little bit of like resource gathering. I like to try and do a little bit of raiding and pillaging. I may dabble in a tiny bit of whaling and things like that. I don't ever solely focus like I am a whaler here and I am going to be generating all of those whaling associated tiles. So maybe that's why that I don't get as affected by so much by the occupation cards. And I believe that is something else as well that may be corrected or aided in the expansion, but as I said, maybe you could just implement like a small rule where you draw 2 and discard 1. In addition, I absolutely love the integration of the dice in this game as well. It just further elevates this and gives this game a little bit more character than your typical Euro does. I really love the aspect that you're trying to sort of bring your dice roll down as close as possible to 0 or to 0 to be a successful attempt at something. I really like the fact that you get a sort of consolidation prize if you don't sort of succeed in your attempt, because that can, even though you've failed in the action you're doing, sometimes it's actually more beneficial for you to fail. And so that's one little thing you can sort of keep at the back of your mind, like, do I actually want that extra weapon for next round? And do I want that resource as well? And I love the pillaging and the raiding aspect. I think that's a really interesting thing to try and push up your dice roll as much as possible to try and get the bigger and bigger tiles and more valuable tiles to fill up your boards. I love the fact that you can use not only weapons, but you can use your stone that you gain as well as to like up your values. There's so many layers to each decision in this game that it's just so exciting. Every action you do feels like you have a big breadth of possibility that you can do. So you can just go there and just see what you roll and make the best of what you've got, or you can really put all of your effort and all of your resources into it and really see how far you can push it. I have in my playthroughs felt that the emigration action is very strong in terms of strategy. I think that is one thing that people have talked about before, being a very strong like a leading strategy that some people can rack up a lot of points with. And I do tend to agree, just because it's sort of twofold. It's very point heavy, so you do get a lot of points at the end of the game for each emigrated ship you have, but also it tends to it does chip away at the amount that you need to feed your Vikings. And towards the end of the game, or the rounds where you're not harvesting, that can feel like quite a challenge. So maybe that's a little bit of a funky thing to sort of bear in mind, but it's open to everyone. So, you know, in a multiplayer game, just get on with it. And if somebody's neglecting their emigrations, then that's down to them. But in a solo game, once again, I don't feel like that is too much of a problem. You are limited to how much you can emigrate because of the fact there's only 2 spaces and there are blocking meeples on your boards. So it's also quite expensive to emigrate. So I don't really find that too much of a problem. Going back a little bit to the cards, the weapon cards, you've got 4 types of weapons, and you don't start with swords, but you do start with your whaling spears, your bow and arrow, and your snares. There are some games where I play where I'm sort of setting myself up to become like a raider or a pillager. So I buy my boats and I'm sort of gaining ore to put on my boats to increase my die values. But then I find I'm not drawing swords, for example, and I need swords to like push up to those higher values. And again, that's just down to luck of the draw, and that can feel a little bit frustrating when you are really nurturing that particular strategy and pathway and the cards just aren't going in your favour. Once again, maybe just draw 2 and stick 1 at the bottom. I have felt some frustration around that in the past, so that's just one thing to bear in mind. But once again, it isn't too bad. There's usually lots of different things you can do, and like in this game, I believe, did I lay a snare at one point? I believe I did lay a snare, or at least I attempted to. I think I failed. Once you start accumulating lots of the weapons that you really don't want, you tend to just try and use it anyway because you're going to be successful and gain something really good. So not too much of an issue. I do really enjoy how different all the emigration tiles are as well. Some of them really focus quite heavily on like bonuses or even food, for example. And so you're looking to sort of try and get those as early as possible to really benefit you in the long run. And others, like the one that I took, may give you like an extra tile or like building to sort of fill up. But it's also filled with lots and lots of negative points that you really need to keep in mind. But other ones focus solely on like income and trying to like boost your income that you have on your home board. And so I really like that sort of plays into lots of different people's strategies. Some people might want to try and generate loads and loads of money. Others are more interested in the bonuses. I think that there's quite a lot of, there's basically 8 tiles here because you're flipping them. And I like the fact also that the game locks you out of some of the early ones quite early on. When they flip, you can't go back and emigrate to that area anymore. I think that just sort of makes it have a bit of a timer on it, and makes the game quite tight in some respects. And also it just sort of increases replayability because there's still some of these tiles that I haven't emigrated to before, just from the look of them they feel a little weaker than some of the others, but I haven't heard anyone necessarily talk too much about most of them being weak. It's just one that was a little stronger. So it would be really interesting to like try and explore all of those ones and see how they play and really can elevate your strategy even more. And finally, but no means least, I love the ability to upgrade your tiles, and it's literally the same tile each time. I think that is a genius idea, just having 2 separate tiles and one colour one side, one or the other, and they have a hierarchy. I think that is brilliant. It just makes the game flow very smoothly, and even down to the storage. Once again, maybe I'll stick the photo up again so you can see how it's stored, but you can sort of see in lines, in rows, how they're stored, like the hierarchy of how all the tiles upgrade from one another. And especially as there's buildings and your home board that can really be quite particular about what tiles you can put in them. So your home board will only accept your green and blue tiles. It's another interesting layer to the game where you are wondering whether it's more beneficial to keep those red and orange tiles as food because you know you're going to have to feed your Vikings, or do you really push for those tile upgrades to try and increase your income as quick as possible? I just love this game. I think it's brilliant, and it's one of these games that I feel that I could play again and again, lots and lots of times in a row, and find something different each time. And there's lots of different areas that I haven't really explored too much before. Like some of these 4 Viking places, meeple places that you can go to, I haven't really explored too much, and it would be good to go to them to sort of see how that could work for you in your strategy. There's a lot of replayability in this one, just purely down to the amount of strategies that you could go down and the amount of spaces that there are to go to. But on top of that, all of your exploration boards will give the game a different feel each time. On top of that, again, you've got your occupation cards, which can further increase replayability. So overall, an insanely big and thinky game, which gives a lot of replayability, a lot of fun, and a lot of different mix of mechanisms that I think we work together very, very well to create a challenging and fun experience. From a solo perspective as well, this one just worked perfectly. You could see that the meeples were blocking each other, and sometimes they were a little bit of a pain to be in the way, but you are essentially completely in control about where and when you put them. It's not like somebody else or the AI is blocking you and it's random. So I think that works perfectly, seamlessly. There's nothing more to say. I think it's a great game. So thank you very much for joining me today for my solo playthrough of Uwe Rosenberg's A Feast for Odin. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you think of the game and what you think of the Norwegians expansion. I'm really excited to get into it, to see how it expands this game and maybe improves some aspects or changes it up. And to see some different strategies be employed. If you did enjoy my content today, please consider subscribing to the channel and you will be let know of any further releases that I do. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching today and have a lovely rest of your day. Bye bye.